It isn't necessarily about honoring Winston Churchill, but really telling the truth. So in your research, what parts were a challenge to really find, to tell, to give a broader perspective of this huge historical figure?
Yeah, well, pedestals are for statues, and what we demand, I think, is a more three-dimensional portrait than we've been allowed previously. So elements that I think have been left out of other portraits of Winston are his sense of humor, his romanticism, the writer in him, the extraordinary fact that within his lifetime he wrote and published more words than Shakespeare and Charles Dickens combined, and the capacity to change his mind. He's always presented, certainly in England, as this bulldog, pugnacious figure who brooked no doubt and never changed his mind. That worries me. It's always worried me in leaders. I like leaders with an open mind who can balance two equal and opposite ideas in their head at the same time, synthesize them, and then come up with a decision. Because that, I think we're better served by open-minded leaders. And Winston is more interesting to me when I found out that he changed his position so often.
Oh, it's very, very interesting. Now, with this particular story, what do you hope to tell differently? I mean, you've kind of touched upon it a little bit, but maybe what do you hope to tell differently, and what do you hope people take away from the film?
Well, my kind of reason for doing it was twofold. I wanted to do a portrait of leadership, and not make a, stand on a pulpit or anything, but it was saying that is a great leader. And then maybe you walk away from that and you go, so how do our leaders match up to that, those qualities? One of his great qualities was that he told the truth. He was almost incapable of making stuff up. And he was incapable of intrigue and deception. Almost childlike in that. So he told it how it was. And even when the news was bad and people turned on him, he suffered that, and he never stopped doing that. So, maybe we walk away and go, okay, we're going to ask more of our leaders, expect more of our leaders than we currently do.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Now, when you wrote it, did you have a particular actor in mind, or, when you got there, how happy were you getting a Gary Oldman?
No, Gary was on the very, very, very short list. And the reason was because we wanted to present a different Churchill than we'd ever seen before. Wanted someone to really shake up that iconic image, and Gary is the guy. I mean, he's the man in that regard, and he gives us a three-dimensional, more human Winston than we've seen.
Great. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.